All right, welcome back, economic students, to this video review. Today we'll be going over the three types of price discrimination: first, second, and third degree price discrimination. We're going to be going over reviewing their definitions, examples, and also their graphs. So starting things off, first degree price discriminations are when sellers sell the exact amount, the highest price at which consumers are willing and able to buy at. And it's important for us to first understand what price discrimination is. Price discrimination is when any firm sells at different prices to different consumers for the exact same product. So it's kind of sketchy, and this is of course to receive more income, exceeding the profit maximization quantity and price. Okay, so for example, examples of price discrimination could be seen in auction houses or bids where the same exact product may be sold to different consumers for different prices. Okay, so that's an example of price discrimination. Another example of general price discrimination would be movie tickets, right? For a child, the movie ticket may be $10, while for adults, they may be 15. Despite the movie tickets being the exact same thing, they go in and have a seat. Okay, it's the exact same thing. Or for further examples, you may have buy two get one free or bulk discounts. These are all examples of price discrimination, where different prices are sold to different consumers for the same exact good or service. Now, first degree price discrimination is when firms get the buyers to buy the goods at their maximum amounts or the maximum possibility that they want to buy at. Some examples of this may be seen like auction houses or like car dealerships, right? Where usually the car dealerships will list their cars at much higher prices and expect buyers to negotiate down to the maximum prices they're willing to buy at. So these are examples of first degree price discrimination. Now, what does the first degree price discrimination look like when it is graph? So I'm going to use a monopoly as an example. Why do I use a monopoly market structure as an example? Of course, because in order for price discrimination to occur, price setting characteristics must occur. Okay, the firm must be able to set prices for the good. That means it must not be a perfectly competitive market, because in perfect competition, firms do not have the ability to set prices. Okay, only oligopolies and monopolies, only oligopolistic and monopolistic market structures have the ability to set prices for their goods. Perfect competition and monopolistic competition, because of the low barriers of entry, have no ability to set prices for the good that's set at. So therefore, I have chosen the monopolistic firm market structure as my benchmark. Okay. So as you have seen right here, this is the profit maximization quantity when MC equals MR. If I link it back to the demand curve, this is the price at which, this dotted line right here is the price at which firms will want to sell at. Now, if we only produce without price discrimination, then this will be the profit that we have. However, if firms utilize price discrimination, then the axis demand, the axis demand in this yellow triangle will be converted from excess demand into profit. Therefore, the firm would exceed profit maximization when price discrimination is utilized. Okay. So this is the first degree price discrimination, when firms charge the maximum amount of price a consumer is willing to and able to buy at. Okay. Now, second degree price discrimination is a lot more realistic. First degree price discrimination is more theoretical and may not be as possible to do in the real world. However, second degree price discrimination is when firms charges different prices for the same exact good based on quantity or volume bought. So common examples of second degree price discriminations are like bulk discounts or buy three get one free discounts. Now, what are these? These are utilizing a consumer surplus. So, while first degree price discrimination completely eliminates consumer surplus by utilizing the maximum amount of prices consumers are willing to and able to buy at, second degree price discrimination exceeds their profit maximization, as illustrated through the blue square right here. The blue square right here shows the additional amounts, the additional amounts of profit added towards the firm's income in addition to the original profit maximization. So, for example, that is because different consumer groups have different elasticities. For example, when buying in bulk, firms are actually incentivized to sell their goods and products in bulk, because that is, of course, allows them to perhaps decrease in advertisement costs, perhaps decrease in shipping or packaging costs. But as well, it is also to appeal to the elasticities of the different consumers. Now, if you look at two different consumer groups, if you look at, let's say, families and bachelors, okay, families, they will like to buy toilet paper in bulk, right? Because they have more people. However, families usually are more elastic when it comes to such products, because they have less disposable income when compared to a bachelor, which is a lot more inelastic. Price changes in toilet paper does not actually affect their demand for toilet paper as much. So therefore, in order to capitalize on this characteristic, and in order to maximize their profit, firms will be subject to price discrimination, where additional, all right, where surplus demand will be, instead of surplus demand existing, surplus demand will be used to their advantage through price discrimination, in order to maximize their profits and actually exceed profit maximization. So common examples are bulk discounts, or like things such as buy 3 get 1 free. Okay, last but not least, we have our third-degree price discrimination. What is third-degree price discrimination? So third-degree price discrimination occurs when firms and corporations are able to segregate the market into different consumer groups based on the price elasticity of demand, and charge the different consumer groups different prices. Now, what are some examples of third-degree price discrimination? For example, airline tickets, okay? If you go on airline tickets, the marginal cost for every additional seat is usually the same, okay? It doesn't matter if you are a child or you are an adult. A child takes up 1 airline seat. An adult also takes up 1 airline seat. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're a child or adult. Even if you go to the movie theaters, okay, a child and an adult both takes up 1 seat. Okay. However, adults are usually charged higher prices than children. Why is that? That is because they have higher price elasticity of demand. So that is when airlines, in this case, will be able to segregate the market into elastic and inelastic demand. Okay. So elastic demand would, inelastic demand would be children, okay, and elastic demand would be adults. So there's really so the price changes affect demand a lot more, or price changes does not affect demand a lot more. For example, business travelers versus leisure travelers also have different elasticities. And now how do firms segregate the market into different segments? They segregate it based on age, for example, adults versus children, income, or geography, or time or occupation. Okay, so these are common examples of how firms will segregate the market into different consumer groups in order to charge them with different prices. For example, in Rome, if you visit the Colosseum, right? If you are a local tourist, you get charged half the price of an international tourist. Now, in order for this to occur, businesses must be able to ensure that resale does not occur. That resale is that you buy in a cheaper market and sell in a more expensive market. So businesses must also be able to ensure that resale does not occur in such a third-degree price discrimination. So I hope this video is helpful in illustrating first, second, and third degree price discrimination. If it is, I hope that you guys could subscribe and like the video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.